California, for its part, has this largely sorted. The fawning EV reviews coming out of the Golden State Press understandably treat this as a solved issue. By the way they talk, you'd expect to find a plug on every corner. Yet if that's even true in California, it sure isn't worth a damn for the rest of us. Because 90 minutes outside of America's largest city, a quick search on the Ford Pass app shows that I'll immediately have to head 20 minutes in the wrong direction. It's a single stall charger, which means if anyone arrives before me I'll be out of luck until they complete their prolonged top-off. Yet I arrive to an empty lot, with one charge point charger seemingly installed as an afterthought alongside an array of a dozen Tesla superchargers. You might assume that charge pricing is effectively irrelevant when it comes to EVs. After all, the ubiquity and affordability of electricity are core EV strengths. In practice, though, I was charged $13.29 to go from 44% to just above 80%. Total indicated maximum range went from 83 miles to 166 miles, meaning I paid $13.29 for 83 miles of range. Assuming you get 25 mpg and pay $3 a gallon for gas, you'd get 112 miles of range for the same price. And you'd be out the door in 5 minutes. Back in my EV, though, I had to kill 55 minutes in a movie theater parking lot in a pandemic. Anyone briefed on the official Mach-E literature should be surprised here. Ford claims that a 150 kW Ford Pass charger should jolt the base Mach-E from 10% to 80% in just 45 minutes. But that's only the standard range car. The figure for an extended range model like my Tester is less impressive. Per Ford, it should be able to get 61 miles of range in 10 minutes from a DC fast charger. Yet even that bar proved impossible to clear since the battery charges slower as it approaches full charge. Plus, the Electrify America charger stubbornly refused to provide its full 150 kilowatts payload despite 0 other vehicles charging at any link station. This experience alone isn't a deal-breaker. We know charging takes time, and we know that coverage is worse when you get outside of major cities. But it confirms the stories I had already heard. Busted chargers, inexplicably long charge times, publicly listed chargers that are actually behind locked gates. The variety and severity of problems associated with public charging in America are staggering. Just a few weeks before, neither his journey nor mine is outside the realm of a New York day trip. A 100-mile run there and back is par for the course here, necessary to get to any good roads, campgrounds, or anything else that requires non-suburbanized land. Confine yourself to city streets and you'd expect to be living the charmed life. Every EV ad shows 20-somethings cruising through the urban expanses, laughing hysterically under illuminated street lights. The city is usually unnamed, but I can tell you with confidence that it isn't New York. Check the Ford Pass Charging Network, again, America's largest EV charging network, and you'll find that the borough of Manhattan contains 2 fast chargers. One is at a BMW dealership and the other is at Icahn Stadium on Randall's Island, far from anywhere you'd actually be heading. The one at the BMW dealership has 1 stall and, per reviews, is frequently broken. I opted instead to work from our office for a day. The building is open, though no one on staff is required to go, and no one really does. The underground garage has a level 2 charger, perfect for a workday charge. It was inoperable. The garage has used the coronavirus-related slowdown to do some long-needed work, making the section with the single L2 charger inaccessible. Searching online for nearby slow chargers yielded nothing. The only ones listed are Tesla destination chargers, which I'd need an adapter to use. Many garages have L2 chargers, but the only way to confirm that is by calling around until you stumble onto one. Instead, I opted to build in a 45-minute detour to Queens Center Mall on my way to my photo shoot with the Mach-E. A 30-minute top-off would give me enough range to make it out to the outskirts of Brooklyn for photos and back home with mileage left over for the Ford fleet representative to drive the Mach-E back to its home base in northern New Jersey. Factor in the parking garage fee and the money I blew at Uniqlo, and this charge was even pricier. But the Electrify America charger there at least reached its rated 150 kW speed, getting me in and out in as much time as it took to grab 2 new t-shirts and a pair of pants. The mall had a captive audience. In much the same way that the attached convenience stores are the real moneymakers for gas stations, the stores, movie theaters, and restaurants surrounding EV chargers will be the real winners. The losers, at least for now, are the rest of us. Public charging infrastructure in the US is too sparse, slow, and unreliable. I can't, in good conscience, recommend setting sail on a cross-country journey relying purely on any brand-agnostic charging network. Those with a sense of improv and an open schedule could surely make an adventure out of it, but anyone looking simply to arrive without hassle is best served by a plug-in hybrid for now. EVs are, at present, best left to their home territory and owned by people with at-home charging. That doesn't make them unworkable for everyone else. If you care deeply about their many broad benefits, smooth talk, silent motoring, brain-scattering acceleration, new school charm, cheap home charging, and lack of world-warming carbon emissions, you can make it work. The network is big and getting bigger, the kinks on their way to being ironed. These flaws in experience, big as they may be, will be solved. Make no mistake that this is the future. Just accept, too, that it's a challenge in the present.